Hi, guys, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Let's Talk Surgery podcast. Yay! Yay, me! I've got to be my own hype girl since I've got nobody with me. So, yes, let's get back into it. Let's deep dive into surgery number 3. Okay, so I contacted a doctor on Instagram, and actually, his name was also Dr. Ismail. I seen some of his work. It looked okay. I seen some good reviews about him, and I was like, yeah, let's go. I need nipple correction on my scars. I need my nipples moving so too far up, and I was like, I need you to liposuction me, and I need you to liposuction my ass. And he was like, yeah, cool, okay. And he was like, because you've come to me directly and you didn't go through the um groups. So like sometimes when you go to Turkey, they'll have like these little like groups that will, well, companies that are not groups, they'll have companies that are like, they're the middleman, so you book through them and then they will give you the surgeon and the hotels, the transfer, stuff like that. But this time I thought, right, fuck doing all that. I will do it myself. I will book the hotel myself, transfers myself, and the surgeon myself. And doing it that way actually is hell of a lot cheaper than booking through these companies as well, may I add. So yeah, anyway, I asked him, I was like, what is the price gonna be? Because I ideally want to come in like 1 or 2 months. And don't forget, like, I only had my correction in March of 2019, and I was booking this for October of 2019. So not long at all. As soon as I was healed, I was like, fuck this, I'm going back. I need this fixed again, because it was still, oh damn, it was still really, really fucked still. So um he was like, it's £3,500, and I was like gobsmacked at how cheap it was. I should have known, but I was just like, it is so much cheaper going to these surgeons anyway. It's not a secret that they do charge cheaper if you don't go to the other companies. So I was like, yeah, okay, okay, let's do it. 3-5, I can do that. I can save that up in 2 months. Cool, let's go. So I got there, and he actually booked the hotel for me. So I transferred him extra money, and he was gonna do the transfers and the hotel for me. Um, because the ones that I told him that I was looking at, he said that he didn't recommend. But this guy put me in the worst hotel of my life. I remember opening the door, right? And I was touching the bed already, and I just opened the door and I was already on the bed. Like, there was no room in this hotel at all. Like, the room was tiny. I couldn't believe such a room existed. It was so small. Like, that should have been enough for me to have gone, actually, this is gonna go wrong again. Maybe I should dip. But no, I didn't. I was, naive once again, and I was like, it doesn't matter what hotel I'm staying in, because I'm only here for 4 nights, and 2 nights are going to be in hospital anyway. So, I mean, it's not going to be that bad, is it? It fucking was. It was. So, got to the hospital, and I done an ECG, because I told them that in the last place I was experiencing really bad heart issues, and of course I was now like out of breath constantly when I was speaking, walking up steps, like anything that required me to speak or move, I was out of breath. Like, my heart was like, oh, it's like a beat going. Anyway, it was so bad. Like, it was crazy bad. So they'd done some ECGs, and they were like, no, your heart's fine. And I tried to explain to them that, like, normally, yes, it's okay, but for majority of the time, like, it does play up. So like, do you want to do another one in like half hour, an hour, like, to double check? Because I could feel it starting to murmur again. I was just like, why do you do it now whilst it's murmuring? But they didn't. um and we done our piss test, as always. Like, that's just a common thing. You go to Turkey, you have your, well, any surgery, I think they do a piss test, make sure you're not pregnant. So we done that. And they were trying to take my bloods, and oh my god, And my veins are shocking, and I don't know why, because it's not from my other two surgeries. It's always been the same. They can, oh, I hate having my bloods taken. It literally takes them like 10 goes to do my bloods, and I'm not joking. I promise you, this is not an over exaggeration. Like, it takes them like 10 times to get blood from my vein, because they go, oh yeah, that's bouncy, and then they pop the needle in, and it goes flat. And I'm just like, oh, are you for real? Like, I keep telling them, take it from my thumb, take it from my thumb. If you're going to put me to sleep, if you're going to take blood, do it in my thumbs, because my thumbs, I don't know why, but they fucking work. The veins, they are really fucking good. But they never want to listen to me, and they're poking around, and they try to do this part of my wrist, and I've got a huge phobia, because actually I had this really bad eye infection when I was 9, and everyone was like, it looks like you've gone like 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, like my eye was like fucking out there. And I had to go to hospital to get it lanced, and I was in hospital for like 2 weeks because the infection got like really bad. But anyway, I remember they didn't even try and put it in my hand. They just went straight for my vein, and I was 9, like, and oh god, since then I've just had a huge phobia of anyone touching my wrists, because I remember that my wrist got so weak that when they had like the cannula thing in my wrist, they had it on like this board, and they like strapped it. I remember the feeling of my wrist being really weak. So I was like traumatized from that point. It was absolutely no way, fuck off. If that's how I have to have the surgery, we're not having the surgery. And I mean that. I wouldn't even care if I lost my money. If they're going to go into my veins in my wrist, there's, oh, no way. So anyway, after fighting with them for a while, they did try my thumb, and it worked. Shocker. I already know. It's my fucking body. It's my vein. I know. I've already been through like all these other things. I know where my veins are that are good, and it's my thumb. It is not my hands. They're shit. Even these up here, they don't fucking work. And just, my body's just wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. My body just doesn't want to go right. So yeah, so they finally got it in. We done the blood test. Everything was fine. They did say that the urine showed like oh, is it like, it's not salt in your wee, is it? It's like crystals or something. So they said I might have had a water infection, but I did actually have a water infection a few days before that I'd only just cleared. So it picked up that, but I was like, yeah, I'm all good to go. Don't worry about me. So yeah, so we then got ready, and I have never done this in Turkey before. Usually they inject you in the room, and then when you're getting wheeled down in the lift, that's when you start to go to sleep. And oh god, I can't get comfy, sorry. I'm just like moving around everywhere. Yeah, I've never had it before where they give you a tablet, and I got given a blue tablet, and I took it, and I didn't fall asleep. I was still awake entering the theatre, and I remember them all looking at me, and I was just like, what? What? Like, what have I done? And they just left me outside the theatre doors. I shouldn't laugh, because it's like, I go to Turkey on my own. Like, since the first ever time I took a friend, but after that I go on my own, right? So I was just like, I was 22. Yeah, I was 22. Yeah. No. 23. No, I wasn't. I was 22. 22 in Turkey on my own for the fucking third time, and I was, arse naked, everything naked. I had this little tiny sheet to cover me, which barely covered me because I'm wide as fuck, because of how much fat got put into me. I was like fucking this off the bed. The bed is like a fish finger, and I'm coming off the sides of the bed. And that is no joke. It really is like that. Like, I am so wide when I lay down, because my arse is flattens out, So yeah, so they just left me by these theatre doors and they go and get a mask, and they put a mask on me, and then I start to feel quite sleepy, and then I think maybe they injected me, because I don't really remember much after them putting the mask on me. I remember waking up, and when I woke up I had no drains in, and I was like really confused, because I'd only ever experienced drains before. And the amount of blood, holy shit. It was blood and fluid, and it stank. It stank like sour milk and piss. It was horrible. It was so bad. And I had no idea. I didn't know they weren't going to use drains. Like, it wasn't told to me. So the nurse comes in and she was lovely. She was really, really nice. And she was telling me that I needed to drink more water. But I just couldn't. I had no strength in me at all. And she literally like manhandles me off the bed because she's like, you need to have your first walk. So we have our first walk, and then whilst we're on our first walk, the other nurses are changing the pads that are put down on the bed because there's no drains. So they're changing the beds, and they say, okay, we change you. So they needed to change the dressings that I've been wrapped up in, and I was like a fucking mummy. They undone the faja, and I see no skin. I see no skin, nothing, none of this. I went from this to having complete bandages everywhere. I was like a fucking mummy, covered in puppy pads, absolutely covered. So they like ripping all them off, and it was sticking to my skin, and oh my god, like if you have had liposuction and they're peeling something off your skin, you will know how painful that is. Like, that was out of this world. Like, I can I can walk after having a BBL and stuff. I don't mind the pain of that. I actually think it's quite easy. But the pain of them ripping that off my skin, holy shit, almost sent me into a coma itself. And they were just like, just take it off like a wax, you know? They were just fucking ramming it off, and it was on my legs. Oh, and it was on my nipples and my boobs, and they'd just been freshly cut. Oh, it was horrendous. So anyway, they take these bandages off me finally after like fucking what seemed a million years, and they said that they're gonna wash the faja as well because the faja got really, really dirty. Again, because no drains were used. Like, usually you don't change your faja for like a day or two after surgery, or even take it off to like have a wash. But they took it off me like hours after I come out of surgery, which again I've never experienced, like, ever. So they went to wash it. So I was out with my faja for like 2 hours. Bear in mind, I had just come out of surgery. Like, it's so unheard of. And yeah, they took the bandages off me, and I was able to look at myself in the mirror, and I was just in absolute fucking horror. I had just paid this guy 3.5 grand, and the deal was he was gonna liposuction the stomach, liposuction the back and the ass, and he was gonna put new implants in, do an uplift, fix the nipples and the scars going down. This fucker reopened stitches and closed the stitches, did no uplift. He didn't change the implants. It was the same size, and they were sat right in the same spot, in the wrong spot, which is how I knew. He liposuctioned this half of my body really nice, but this half really fucking bad. It was wonky. Like, it was wonky, and still is to this day because of that fucker. Even though I've had other things done, he fucked it up, right? The top of my back, you can probably see I'm still pulling it there, was really, really flabby still, but the bottom was like skinny as fuck. And the ass. Please tell me why I woke up with a fatter ass. He was meant to liposuction my ass, and he done another BBL. Please, Lord. Please, Lord, tell me why. I was as thick as a fucking bus. I was as wide as a bus, and I was as wide sideways as I was width. Like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it. So I'm messaging him on WhatsApp. I'm just like, what's going on? Why have you done this? Like, we agreed all of these. I didn't agree to a BBL. You've gone against what we've agreed. I didn't pay for a BBL. I paid for liposuction, and also you haven't done my boobs. And I just got a reply saying all will be okay. I needed to do what I needed to do, and I was just like, it's like, this can't be real. Like, this can't be my surgeon's response to the fact that he just went against absolutely everything that we said that we were going to do. so I was still messaging him, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was like, I'm scared, I was like, I'm unhappy, I was like, I know I'm swollen, so things obviously do look a little bit different at the start, and you've got to wait for it to go down and snap, but you know, you're like, you know, when you know your body and you've already had this surgery done a couple of times, you know the process already, you know if something is going to stay that way or be fixed with like massages and like compression, faha, wherever. And I just knew, I looked in the mirror and I just knew, you could tell, like, you can see what's fat and what's swelling. So he just ignored me, and I got discharged from the hospital that night, the surgery night, which again, never heard of. Normally you stay overnight and then you get discharged. I got discharged the same day, and I went back to the hotel. Now, back at the hotel, I had no aftercare at all. He didn't come and visit me. No nurse or doctor came and visited me. Not even a hotel staff came to ask if I was okay. And other people were there who had had surgeries like hair transplants and noses and stuff. But I think they weren't used to somebody maybe going there that had like a lot of work done. You know, like I did need somebody there because I was leaking a lot. And they didn't give me any spare doggy pads. And don't forget, I was there for another 2 nights. So I had nothing like spare. So I had to ask the hotel staff, like, can you go and get me like doggy pads? Like, I was on obviously Google Translate. And they were just looking at me weird. But like, the hospital gave me none. I'm still texting the surgeon, I'm getting no response. And obviously when you go to Turkey, you pay the day that you go into surgery, so, or even the day before, like, it depends when they come and see you, when your consultation is, that's usually when you pay. So I'd already paid this fucker all the money, so there was no way of recovering it. And yeah, he just left me, and I didn't get a response until about 2 weeks after I came home. And he just said that the best course of action once I was in surgery was to refill the arse. And he didn't redo the breasts because he didn't think they needed to be redone. But of course, you should have told me that in consultation. And even if you thought that, if that's what I'm paying you for, then you should just do it. Like, I wasn't at risk if he had done the boobs. Like, if it was for a medical reason, like if he said like, I couldn't do your boobs because you were bleeding out too much, blah blah blah, absolutely fine. Like, you've got to put my safety first. But he just didn't want to do them because he didn't think they need to be touched. But it's, you know, if I'm paying you to do that, then just do that. If there's no risks involved, then just do it. Like, whether you think they're good enough to stay is besides the point. I've paid for that service, so I need to have that service, or you need to refund it to me. And yeah, he said that he thinks the big bum suited my frame, matched my thighs, blah blah blah. But I said again, it's not what I wanted. I needed it taken away because it was uneven, it was too big already, and you've now put more in, you've made it bigger again. So that at this point I've had fucking 3 BBLs, and it was like a fucking tank. It was massive, absolutely huge. And no shocker, the boob stitches, they unstitched after about 3 weeks, and the bum again ended up dropping into my thighs, like really low down, and making like a Bowen type of crease, like when I turned to the side. And went really lumpy. My hips had like dips in them. They were literally like this, like little cones again, because my body does not hold fat. Like, I'm probably like the worst person now to ever have a surgery like that, and it's taken all of these surgeries to realise. But obviously, like, now I know I would never get those surgeries again. Like, I do want an uplift on my bum, so I want like the skin taken away on my back and my bum pulled up, because I need it, because my bum is saggy because I've lost 6 stone. And there isn't a big bum anymore. There's loose skin that looks like a big bum, but when you pull it up, you can see my bum is actually very small now, very small, if I just have that surgery. So I would have that, but never in a million years will I ever have another BBL again. There's just no way. Like, I'm just not a good candidate for it. And this surgeon on my third go should have told me that. He should have said, you're not a good candidate for it, but instead he just put more in because he thought that was gonna fix the issue, and it absolutely did not. It made it, God, if you thought it was bad before from my previous one where you've seen the befores and afters, this was just way worse. I don't even think I have any pictures. I will have a look. I will have a look because I don't want to say I don't, but I don't think I do, because I think at this point, even though I'd been through so much already and it didn't affect me as much, this one hit me the hardest because obviously I had paid once again, and I had really high hopes because I was like, I've done a bit more research this time, you know, and I I was clear about what I wanted this time. I didn't want my ass big. I kind of knew what to ask this time, and I felt like I'd done everything right, and it still went so wrong. Um, so for me, it was just like devastating. Like, it was very traumatic, and that's when I think my mental health took the biggest turn. I don't remember taking many photos of myself that time, which is why I'm not sure if I have any, but I will dig deep. I really will. Um, but yeah, I don't think I took many pictures of myself after that surgery at all. Um, no, I really don't think I did. I will have a look, like I said. I think I may have pictures of the open wounds, like of my boobs and stuff, because I would have sent them to him for advice. But I really don't know about pictures of the bum and the hips. But yeah, if they are there, I will include them here. If they're not, I'm really, really, really sorry. But yeah, like I said, my mental health at that point was just absolute rock bottom. I mean, I was a defeated woman. You probably never would have known if you knew me in person, because I don't tend to let people see how I feel. I'm very good at hiding my true emotions, and you know, everyone always says to me, you know, oh my God, you look like you'd be so confident. Even now, they say you look really confident, and you look like you don't give a fuck, and you know, you look happy, and it's just like, damn. If only you knew. But yeah, no, like, I was really good at hiding how I felt, and I remember one of my friends saying to me, God, don't you feel shit that you spent all that money and you look worse? And I was like, wow. Wow. Or a way to knock me down, but also like true. Like, that was hard. I remember him saying that to me, and I was just like, I was gobsmacked, because he's the type of friend, he will tell you the truth. And I think everyone kind of was like walking on eggshells around me a bit by it, didn't want to tell me that it was as bad as it was, because they understood how bad it was, like for me, like what I was going through. I mean, you had just spent all this money again, and you just gone through this trauma again. And they could probably see it, I wasn't in the right space, but obviously everyone's got that one friend who was just going to tell it to you, and he was the one friend at the time that said to me, God, yeah, you spent all that money and you still look this bad. Like, how does it make you feel? And I remember trying to think, like, how did it make me feel? And even now, like, I don't know. I don't, like, fully, I don't know how I feel about all this. Um, I still find it hard to process most days. Like, I've got over majority of it, I think. Um, but yeah, it's something. Yeah, he asked me, and it just like, it's still, even now, like the question still makes me really like stumped. I don't know what to say. Like, I just don't have an answer to it. Um, so I think that surgery is something that I probably will never get over. It makes it easier to talk about. But being the surgery that really tipped me over the edge is something, yeah, I don't think I'll ever get over that one fully. Um, yeah, it was bad, really bad. But again, this is where I prompt everybody to please, please do your research. Don't be like me. Don't be an idiot. Like, if you see some good reviews, don't just take that as, yeah, okay, I'm going. Like, really dive deep into your research. Join the Facebook groups, join the Twitter groups, TikTok groups. Like, there will be groups for every surgeon out there. You just have to look. And if you don't know, post this somewhere. Somebody will know somebody, especially on Facebook. Like, there's no way that you won't find a doctor or surgeon that you have been thinking of going to as a group on Facebook. You will always find it, I promise you. Please speak to people. And if you really think you need something, maybe just think again. And, you know, maybe go to a consultation over here. Even if you don't plan to have it done over here, maybe just spend that money and have a consultation with a surgeon over here, because if they can just give you a bit of an insight before you do go over there and you think, well, I've already flew over here, I may as well have it done, which is what I've done, then maybe, like, if they said to you over here your skin wasn't good enough to handle a BBL, maybe you'll think about it more. But if you go to Turkey and you've already spent that money to get there, you've already, like, took the time off work or wherever, and you've got childcare, whatever it may be, and they tell you that, okay, you may not have the best results because your skin can't handle you know, a lot of fat in there, you know, your skin's a bit lax, you'll probably just go, oh, it doesn't matter, just do it anyway, because you're there and you've already, like, planned all of this, you've taken the time off work, you've already saved up the money, and you've travelled there. So don't let yourself be pushed into surgery by your own mind, because, like I said, when you're already there, you're just gonna say, yeah, just have it because you're there. But if you have a consultation over here and they tell you what maybe you might hear over Turkey, you get to walk away with a bit more food for thought, and it will prompt you to really, really have a good look at the the surgery that you're actually about to have done. And maybe you can, like, say on these Facebook groups, like, have anyone had surgery with this surgeon that you wanted that's been told that they have, like, lax skin, or, you know, whatever it may be that you find out that maybe won't be in your favour during surgery. There will always be somebody out there with the same issues as you that have gone through surgery already, and if they can maybe prevent you from having maybe a bad experience, who knows, they could have found a surgeon that treated their lax skin amazingly. Fab. Then maybe you could go to that surgeon. But they may tell you that they've already had the surgery because they didn't get that advice before, and they absolutely wouldn't recommend it because now their skin is even fucking worse. So that's the bit of advice that I'll give at the end of this. And also, I'm really sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm having some lighting issues, so yeah. And once again in the podcast, I forgot to put my microphones on. I'm doing a shit job of this, aren't I? I'm doing a really shit job of this. So this is the 4th podcast. I've not put the microphones on. And this is the 4th podcast with lighting issues. So I'm sorry, guys. I promise I'll try